各位央视新闻的网友，大家好，欢迎走进我们的直播间。从今天开始到23号，央视新闻当带您开启一段探秘之旅。35年前呢，三星堆遗址是揭开了一段尘封的历史，重构了中国青铜时代的文明图景。那么，三星堆究竟有多
？Dear viewers, good afternoon. Welcome to our live streaming. Starting from today to the 23rd, we are going to embark on a journey to unveil the mysteries of the Sanxingdui ruins. 35 years ago, the excavation of Sanxingdui Pit has stunned the world with its unique culture, high-level bronze technique, and also the romantic artistic taste. It has also triggered the imagination across the world. 35 years later, we are also going to witness another excavations for the pit around the Sanxingdui. Are we going to unveil another mysteries? So here we want to emphasize once again that starting from today to the 23rd, on every single day at 3 p.m., we are going to live streaming the excavations of the Sanxingdui Pit. You can follow us on the CMG applications, on the TikTok, and also to watch our live stream about the Sanxingdui ruins. What do you want to say about the Sanxingdui ruins? And we'll also welcome you to leave your message in our chat box. During our live streaming, we are also going to answer your questions. At the same time, we are also going to provide some of the lucky draws in our live streaming. We always say that the difficulties to go to the area of Shu is more difficult. Is actually a comparison to the heaven. So we have invited you to join us on this journey to unearth the Sanxingdui mystery. Let's join our hands together on this unique journey. This is also the first time for us to live streaming, and we are also going to invite you to go to the Sanxingdui Ruins Museum to have a look about what are the treasures and mysteries hidden behind the Sanxingdui Museum. We are also going to invite the curators of the museum to introduce us the mysteries of the Sanxingdui. Dear viewers, good afternoon. We are really welcoming you to joining us to witnessing this unearthing mystery of the Sanxingdui. So here I'm actually at the Museum of Sanxingdui. In 1968, the number 1 pit and number 2 pit was unearthed here. We are going to embark on a journey to tour this museum in this afternoon. So we are going to interview one of our old friends who used to be the curator for the Sanxingdui Museum. Professor Chen, good afternoon. So here we could see that there is a sandbox in front of us. Could you introduce us the locations and general landscape for the Sanxingdui ruins? Sanxingdui ruins is an archaeological site which has around 3,500 years to around 4,800 years apart from today. Actually, in this sand plains, it covers all the landscape that is dotted by Sanxingdui. In 1982, we found the first pot buried with a lot of jade pieces. It is located here, and we could also see there is a city wall and a city moat circling the Sanxingdui ruins. This is the city's site. There is also a legendary story about the Sanxingdui ruins. The local people call it the Bank of the Moon. Sanxingdui used to be a small extensions for the wall, and we could see that there are two different gates. One is allowing the river to running through. That is to say, we used to call it that 3 different stars is accompanying the moons with the changings of the waterways and the rivers, we could only see the 3 small plates accompanying the moon-shaped plates. And we are going to introduce you the number 1 plate and also the number 2 plate. How did we find the number 1 plate and number 2 plate back in the year 1968? After our country has embarked on the great journey of reform and opening up, the first archaeological site we have started to excavate was the Sanxingdui ruins. We have discovered a very comprehensive plate covering from the neurological period to the Three Kingdom period. Its culture is also quite unique, nothing like what we have seen before, especially compared with the ancient Chinese civilizations. We have nicknamed it Sanxingdui ruins, and during the excavations in 1986, we have started the journey here. In 1986, there was a local worker who have discovered the first jade pieces, and at his second day we started our excavation work. There is a lot of potteries we unearthed here on this site, and in the pit buried a lot of ritual wares. In the spring of 1986, we find a lot of bronze wares. We gradually noticed that this is not an area for people to live. It is the area where the ancient Shu people conducted their ritual ceremony. That is where we have found this unique archaeological pit. It was in the middle of summer, where in the Sichuan plateaus, the weather was quite hot, accompanied with a lot of rainstorms. We are trying our best to preserve all the Sanxingdui relics back then. Constrained by the weather conditions, and back in 1986, it was also a quite sudden unearthing project. We have built up a small shield to shade off all the different waters and rainwaters. But we could, even if we covered all the pit with the plastic, there is some of the waters replicated on the plastic shield. So that's the reason why we have chosen to unearth the Sanxingdui pit at night. What impresses you most when you were excavating the first pit? I think when I was trying to unearth the Sanxingdui pit, I am the one who actually digged the bronze mask with the protruding eyes. And we also discovered a lot of golden wares. I think that after digging into around 10 centimeters, there are some of the workers asking me that, Professor Chen, is this gold? We were working at night, and I could still remember the glitteries of the gold of the Sanxingdui Mosque. And this is also a very important alarm to us. We have informed the local government to work together with the local security public bureau station to preserve the treasure relics of the Sanxingdui pit. And in the number 2 pit, we have unearthed around 1,000 different bronze wares. It have a larger categories of the bronze wares in the number 2 pit, and in the number 2 pit we have unearthed the secret trees together with the golden mask. You have been participating in the first stage excavations, and the first pit and in the second pit. What was your impression? I feel that's a real wonder of the world. I think it is a reminiscent of the ancient Shu civilization. It is a wonder that we have never seen before. Second, it gradually came to us. The civilizations of the Shang dynasty has not crossed the Yangtze River. It gradually enters into the Chengdu Plateau through the Yangtze River. And through the ruins of the Sanxingdui, we can imagine the lifestyles of the ancient Shu people. How did they conducted the cultural exchange and trade exchange? There are so many spaces and rooms for us to run our imagination because there is no wordings or no literacies left on the surface of the Sanxingdui relics, and we are looking forward to the second stage of this excavation. Just as Professor Chen has introduced us about the excavations of the number 1, 2, and number 2 pit, we have understand the mysteries and the uniqueness of the Sanxingdui ruins. Here I'm at the gate of the Sanxingdui Museums. We are going to start the journey, so I'm like to introduce you Professor Zhou Peng, and I am Zhou Peng, who is responsible for the publicity of Sanxingdui Museum. I welcome all of you to come to the Sanxingdui Museum. So what kind of treasures are we showing to the public? And number 1, Sanxingdui Museum, we actually shows all the different ancient relics. There is no historic record for the ancient Shu Kingdom. It is a kingdom built up on our imagination. So when we entered into this museum, we could see this huge screen, which is a combination of the word of the Shu. So because the Chinese character of the Shu refers to the silkworm at its first place, we could see that there is a very huge eyes on top of the Chinese characters of the Shu. It resembles the bodies of the silkworm. And for the first king of the ancient Shu Kingdom, we call him Sanxingdui, the keeper of silkworm. So I believe from the first king of the ancient Shu Kingdom, we have a history of 2,000 years, and it has proven once again for the history of the ancient Shu Kingdom. From the histories of the Sanxingdui relics, it has undergone 5 different historic periods in China. It is also a very unalienated part of ancient Chinese culture. We have noticed that the Sanxingdui ruins was located on the 30th southeast. We believe that it is echoing with the ancient Egyptian cultures. It is one of the greatest wonders of the civilizations. We are going to enter into the first halls, and I think what comes to us are the 4 different glass cases, because Sanxingdui relics has covered 4 different historic periods. For the different exhibition halls, it is representing one single stages for the Sanxingdui culture. So here we are representing the ceramics that was made 4,800 years ago. The general shapes for these ceramics is used to cook and used to keep all the different flowers. It is an exhibition hall demonstrating the second stage of the Sanxingdui culture. It has real features of the Sanxingdui. Can you imagine what is the usage of this pottery ware? And we can also imagine that for the ancient Shu people, they are sitting on the ground. It is something quite similar to an ancient Shu table. And here at the bottom of this unique ceramic ware, it has uncovered a symbol of eye. We believe the symbol of eye has repeated itself for many times in the Sanxingdui relics. We can only have an understanding of Sanxingdui culture through this. This is the changes in the second phase. You could see the legs is becoming thinner and longer, and there is a quite unique shape. That is what we call the 3-leg kitchenwares. Some of the viewers even call it the hot pot at the ancient Shu Kingdom. Using the 3 legs, we could make the hot pot with 3 different flavors. It is a well-designed ware supported by the 3 legs, and the upper part is also being connected to the 3 different layers. So when heated up, the whole ware is going to be receiving a quite balanced heat. We call it the first hot spot that is being recorded in the history. This is the 3rd stage of the Sanxingdui ruins. We are kindly inviting our viewers to guess what is this used for. It is a special wine warming ware. Around 3,500 years ago, the ancient Shu people really favors to drink the alcohols. So this 4 different stages of the pottery is showing us the progressions of the ancient Shu culture, not only by appearing with very huge ceramics. In the ancient Shu, we are also seeing a lot of palaces. And around 2015, we have discovered a very huge ruins of the palace at Qingguanshan. This is a very huge palace, covers around 1,000 square meters. We are inviting Professor Zhu Jinpeng from the Chinese Science of Social Development to replicate of the palace. We find it is a huge palace with 2 different floors. We believe it is a palace or it's a ritual relics for the ancient Shu Kingdom. We can imagine the rituals held by the ancient Shu people. It is also a very important reflection of the country's wealth and economic might for the ancient Shu Kingdom. Sometimes their palace even covers several hundred square meters. It is home to thousands and even tens of thousands of people. With a prosperous life, people at the ancient Shu Kingdom are really keen to make a lot of potteries and ceramics. We are faced with a range of huge ceramics. It was used to store all kinds of the grains. After harvest, the people, the ancient farmers from the Shu Kingdom has restored their grains in these huge ceramics. They are also using these different archaeological wares to make the different archaeologies. This is my first time to see so many different archaeological wares. It is very similar to the wine drinking wares that I'm using today. They have a quite advanced technology to make the wines. And they also have the special ware to warm up the wine. They also have a special ware to separate the wine, to pour it into the different cups. There are so many different practical kitchenwares. We could see the different plates. It is very similar to our kitchenwares today. This is a bird-shaped spoon. It used to be a stone. If we can replicate that, I believe in the middle of that, in the middle of our exhibition hall, this is a bird-shaped spoon. It is a reflection of ancient people's tribute to the bird, with so many different images of the bird. It is indicating the advancement of agriculture. The ancient Shu people has abundance of the grains to start the winemaking, and they also have a very quite advanced animal husbandry industry. That's the reason why they have so many different animal-shaped relics. They have also unearthed a lot of ceramic-made small animals. We could find the pigs, sheep, tigers, and even owls. So can we have a guess of what are the 2 different? There are actually 2 different relics of the owls representing here. You can type in here, and we are going to give you a very small special gift from Sanxingdui Museum. And I'm going to unveil the mystery in the later live streaming. During the ancient Shu times, the local people also want to wear some of the accessories. After enjoying a well-fed time, I believe that the ancient Shu people have built up their own jade-made accessories. It's like the necklace This is also quite unique. It is made of tiger's tooth. For the Sanxingdui ruins, there are so many different, not only by the tiger's tooth, they are also unearthed with the abundant elephant tusks. Because of the poor preservation technologies, the elephant tusk has not been well preserved. It's quite difficult for us to preserve the elephant tusks. It's really difficult for us to see such a very comprehensive elephant tusk. Is this elephant tusk coming from other different foreign species, or is it from the ancient Shu Kingdom? We believe the tusk of the Sanxingdui ruins might be a result of frequent culture and trade exchange. There are so many different potteries, jade wares, and also bronze wares, is representing the styles and cultures of the central part of China. The Sanxingdui ruins is also, with its uniqueness, has a lot of communications and exchanges for the civilizations in the middle of the Yangtze River. It has also reached into the western part of Asia and even the Middle East countries. And here we have a very important evidence. We have unearthed a lot with the scalpels and shelves. And the ruins of the Sanxingdui, there is around 4,000 to 5,000 different seashells. It is all being produced in the Indian Ocean. We believe it's a very important trading agencies during the trade activities. It is very impressive and amazing for us to imagine the ancient Shu people has even traveled to the Western Indian Ocean. We could see that huge palace relics, and we could see so many different fruits for the cultural exchanges. With the prosperous economy, the country must be blessed with a lot of different occupations. So we are going to enter into the exhibition halls for the different jades. This is the original pieces for the jade, and it is unearthed by the Sanxingdui ruins. There are 7 different imprints. This is very impressive. It's very huge, and the way to cut it is quite plain and marvelous. We have not found any tools yet, so we cannot draw a conclusion of what kind of tools are the Sanxingdui people used to cut all of these stones. And we are quite looking forward to the second stage of the excavations to bring us more surprises and unearth more mysteries. One thing I really want to introduce you is one of the national treasures. This is the first time that we are showing it to the public. This is a jade sacrificed ware with a very unique meanings during the ritual ceremonies. We believe the patterns on it is a symmetry. On the upper part, we could see the mountains, the animals, and also the people. It is a jade ware for the ancient Shu people to pay respect to the nature. This is a ware recording the ancient people to start their sacrifice rituals when they are standing on the mountains. One thing quite valuable about these pieces of this ware is that it has depicted the whole process of the ritual respectings. We could see the grinding ritual ceremonies, and I believe that this hand gesture reminds me of the ancient Shu's bronze figures. Let's have a look of the bronze figures. This is the most treasurable bronze figures. It is also the largest. If we compare the cultural relics at the world, at the same time, it has a height of 2.6 meters, when the bronze figure is around 1.7 meters. If we view closer, we could see the hand is being extending with a very dramatic manner. One thing really mystified us is about its hand gesture. Seems like they are using their hands to hold something. So there's a lot of guesses of what is this ancient figure holding on his hand. His clothes is also very unique. He is wearing a very splendid clothes. From the side of his clothes, we could see 3 different layers. At its external layers, there is actually a single-shouldered clothes, and these are the 3 different layers of this Sanxingdui figure. And I think its unique patterns on the clothes also reveals the people's status. We are seeing a lot of patterns, including the pattern of a dragon. It is just a symbol to the dragon's clothes. In the later stage, we don't know what was holding on his hand, but we could kindly invite all the viewers online to have a guess of what is he holding. Some of the people might mention that he's holding an elephant tusk. Some people might notice that he might be holding some of the truncheons. Dear viewers from the CMG, we kindly invite you to type in your guesses. What will this bronze figure holding together with his hand? And we can actually step forward and guess about his identity. He must be a ruler, or he must be connected to the ritual world. It reminds us of a very important treasure in the Sanxingdui ruins. It is the largest truncheons unearthed in Sanxingdui ruins. It is being unearthed in 1986 with a length of 1.42 meters. It is the largest golden ware pieces that we have discovered in Asia. We have drawn a conclusion that it used to be a golden-covered wooden trench that was held by the king. One thing quite terrible about this trench is that we could see the patterns on the trenching. The patterns on this trench is being combined with 3 different groups of the patterns. There are fishes, there are birds, all flying together to the king. Some of the people guess it is a tribute, or it has replicated when the king was catching bird and fish. Other people might speculate that it is representing even the fish and bird are paying their respect to the king of Shu. Apart from 2 different groups of this drawing, we have an image of the king of the Shu ancient kingdom. We believe this is a trench for the king of Yufu. We could imagine that some people with their masks smiling to us with a lot of ear accessories and holding his golden trench toward us. So the golden trench has a lot of meanings, no matter for its surfacing patterns. I believe these patterns is being engraved through the carving technologies, and the craftsmen are using the baron to carve these golden trench art, we could imagine that a trench like this have a lot of meanings in the ancient China, but for the majority of this trench, it is being presented with the bronzeware. So what is the difference? We are being fascinated by the Sanxingdui culture with its golden trench. It is also the beauty of Sanxingdui ruins. It is very different with the civilizations in the middle part of China. Today, the cultural trench has reminded me of the cultures in the Western Asia or even in the Middle East. Something really wows us in the Sanxingdui ruins is our golden mosques. And when we talk about the golden mosque, we must be reminded of what was happening in East Asia. This is a golden mosque unearthed in Sanxingdui cultural relics. We have unearthed 6 different golden mosque. This is not a very comprehensive mosque, but we can imagine the people's nose and also the people's eyes. This is a very unique design. It is nothing like the golden mosque that we have seen before. It has given the buried people a freedom to let their eyes went through the golden mosque. We can also imagine the meanings of this golden mosque. I believe the king of the ancient Shu Kingdom is using this golden mosque to show his respect to God and show his absolute controlling authority in the ancient Shu Kingdom. Once we have unearthed it, I believe the golden mosque is gradually being peeled off. There are some of the damages happening to the number 1 pit and number 2 pit. We are really sorry that the human status has been buried and caught in the middle. I still remember one thing quite important in the Sanxingdui relics is the secret tree. It has been scattered to around 100 different pieces. After 10 years restorations and renovations, what was standing in front of us is the bronze tree. This is the most magnificent bronze trees in the Sanxingdui relics. It is also a treasure of our country. It has a height of 3.96. The whole structure is very complicated. There is a basement, and on top of the basement there is a tree, and for each one they have sprouted 3 different branches. And on top of every single leaf, we could see a bird sitting on top of the leaf. This bird has given us a lot of hints to the literacies. For every single word, they have carried a piece of the sun, and the sun came to the sky every single morning. So we are going to give you a small introduction of these periods' history through a video clips.
我们能看到，其实这棵树上现在一共是有9颗鸟，对吧？对，9只鸟。
There are 9 birds sitting on the branches of the tree. These 9 birds is representing the 10 different suns in the Sanxingdui civilization. These 3 trees is also pointing to 3 different directions, to the east, to the west, and to the south.
"今天轮到哪个去背太阳嘛？你上回飞过那个啥子天湖公园搓了1天的麻将，人家考古队再挖2期了，再挖出几棵树，都够你凑好几座了。平时都爱刷下央视新闻，逛下三星堆博物馆。 亦须习，为夫高哉！蜀道之难，难于上青天。蚕丛及鱼凫，有酒赛神仙。
你早饭做了没？我想溜出去偷懒哈。我们仨儿刚去了，约好了今天搓一顿。
还管那个门口大块头接了个3个角的背包儿。到底哪个去嘛？太阳上班迟到了，大家都要遭扣工资。
非常有意思的一段短片哈，我们仿佛看到了树上的鸟都活起来了一样。
It's a very interesting video clips. It almost brings all the birds on the secret tree alive. Actually, the carvings of this secret tree needs to cost a lot of fortunes. Thus, this huge secret tree has not been formed and forged within one day. We could see the connecting point, and on this top of the tree, we could see a dragon flying downward with the secret bird and also the secret dragon. It is indicating that this bronze secret tree is not being used as a day-to-day wears. It must have its unique religious meanings. For such a winter tree, sitting behind it needs a long vision to view toward its top. We could imagine when the Sanxingdui people has gathered around it to pay their ritual respect to their god. It also wows us in terms of the arithmetics and in terms of the distribution for the power. Even if it is not a very huge tree, it is being supported by a triangular shape. It has combining the state-of-art technologies and also the best art. In the Sanxingdui culture, we could see that at every single bird on their backs, there are some of these small holes. For such a small hole, what is it used for? Because in Sanxingdui rooms, we have unearthed a lot of small bronze pieces. We imagined that these holes are used to carry with a lot of bronze wheels. We can imagine for such a huge tree, it is carrying a lot of bronze accessories. There are so many different bronze accessories. For example, the ring bell. And I'm seeing the pattern of bird once again. So this bird-shaped ring bell can ring with a quite clear and beautiful sound. This is a flower-shaped ring bell, well preserved, with a very unique and detailed and extravagant patterns on its surface. We all know that when we were excavating the number 1 and number 2 pit, there were around 9 different secret trees. But all the trees are broken into pieces with the time passing by. So during our restoration work, we have to piece all the different secret trees together. After years of the restoration, we have restored the looks of the number 2 bronze tree. The general structure of the number 2 bronze tree is quite similar to the first secret tree. They don't have actually, the dragon disappeared with figures of the people sitting on the bottom. It is also being supported by the 3 different foot, and I'm only sitting here to reach only 50% of its height. Compared with the first secret tree, it is being done with huge tightness. I believe the different bronze tree and secret tree is being applied, and for the different ritual ceremonies. We are trying to restore the number 3 secret tree. It is smaller. It is also more extravagant. The 2 different branches are circling each other to move forward. We could imagine an image like that, and a very booming civilization at the center of its palace. There are several different bronze trees hanging in the middle of this palace. When the breeze comes to us, it is difficult for us to imagine what country the ancient Shu Kingdom is. We also want to thank all the different experts for their yearly contributions to the excavations of the ancient Shu Kingdom. We have finished our journey to tour around the number 1 pit and have introduced you the Sanxingdui relics and what they have achieved. And the second exhibition hall, it is a special exhibition hall with some of the best and most unique bronze mosques. And it is a very huge museum. The designs of the Sanxingdui Museum is also following the pattern of Sanxingdui ruins. Apart from the general designs of the Sanxingdui museums, we have formed the first branches of the Sanxingdui archaeological teams to work together with the museum. Many years ago, Sanxingdui was enlisted as a unique world intangible assets. That is the reason why we have combined the Sanxingdui ruins together with the Sanxingdui Museum. We could feel the dynamism in this Sanxingdui Museum. I feel it is more like a garden. Today, before I entered into the first part of the museum, I lost my way here, but I was enjoying myself during my journey here. You can imagine what the ancient Shu people enjoyed around 4,000 years ago. During summer, a lot of citizens from Sichuan province actually tours around here and enjoys the cultural unearthing journey here. It is an important park with the functions to view the culture, to learn from the ancient histories, and also to enjoy themselves. We could imagine the lifestyles of the ancient Shu people. They are enjoying the hot pot while they are trying to create a lot of wines, and while they are paying tribute to their god. They are also riding a lot of elephants, because I believe at the time there were abundance of elephants at the time, and they also have seen a lot of giant pandas dotted around their life. They have lived a quite happy life. Sometimes they conducted a quite large-scale ritual ceremony to God, to pray for the food and pray for their happiness in the coming year. We are actually arriving in the second exhibition hall. The first exhibition hall was being opened to the public in 2004. The second exhibition hall, which is an exhibition hall built it up in 1997. It is a hall dedicated to showcasing the bronze wheels, and this exhibition hall has mimicked the meanings of the Sanxingdui three different stars. They are using this yellow and earthly color to represent the Sanxingdui cultural relics. We have noticed the bronze museum is a special place to demonstrate the bronze masks. This is also an important mystery unearthed in the Sanxingdui ruins. Once we have just entered into the exhibition hall, we are seeing this huge bronze mask. I believe my hands cannot cover his eyes. It is a bronze mask with a height of 72 centimeters. It is used as a representation of the god. So when the ancient Shu people were conducting their ritual ceremonies, it is being hanged in some of the real large-scale cultural relics. The mask have quite huge eyes, dashing eyebrows, and it also has a diamond-shaped eyes. Well, I think it's a very huge, very unique artistic taste. I believe some of the masks might have been used in rituals by the impersonators of the dead. When we talked about the bronze mask, we used to compare it with the bronze mask unearthed in the Western Asia's civilization. So this is some of the bronze masks made in the shape of the animals. They are hanging on the walls, on the table, to expel the evil spirit and to decorate the walls. We could see that at this time, the animal-shaped mask has also very huge square-shaped eyes. I believe the square-shaped eyes is quite common in the Sanxingdui Museum. There were scores of them. Their style are kept in utilities. At that time, I believe the ancient Shu people really want to wear their bronze mask, where all the different bronze masks is being blessed with the same facial complexion. There were masks that were user-friendly, and there were little itty-bitty masks. The unique feature for this mask is its protruding eyes. Extending to the two different sides. Some of the people call it the eyes which could see 1,000 miles. It is also an image of the king of Canchong, the second king of the ancient Shu Kingdom. After viewing all the different bronze masks, we could say that there is a very unique features for this piece of the bronze mask. On top of this bronze mask, there is a symbol showing the bronze dragon. We could imagine this is representing the king of the ancient Shu Kingdom is also being blessed with the legendary animal of dragon. From these protruding eyes, we could see that the people are really worshipping their king and hopes their king could see everything. Their king could guide them in their day-to-day life.
还有呢一种就是我们在遗址当中发现了很多平面的呈菱形的眼睛。
In Sanxingdui relics, there are so many different diamond-shaped eyes being unearthed,
特别像一只大眼，而且古人还可以把
with a round eyes in the middle.
首先我们看到的这个眼睛，它是
We could even cut
这
it
个菱形就
to the
非常有
equal
数学逻
and
辑的一个图案
symmetry
其次我们
two-part
看
and
这个
even four-part.
4等分
This is a very logic pattern.
很先进了。
对非常先进的。其实
That is to say, the ancient people has really sophisticated levels of the algorithm and also their understanding to the designs.
像当年啊，古蜀人把这个眼睛
I'm
的
going
图腾
to
挂在墙上
unveil
看到
that
上面是
mystery
有一些
later.
穿孔的。
对有孔。
I believe the ancient Shu people has hanged these pieces on the wall.
或者是天眼。
It is
大
representing
家也可以想象一下，当时
the eyes from the heaven
这个墙壁上柱子上
when the ancient people entered into this special ritual relics. They could find the ancient eyes hanging all over. It is almost similar to the watches, to the different part, and they have a very advanced artistic taste. A lot of modern young people are using the eyes to decorate themselves, but it has already been used by the ancient Shu people a long time ago. This is a bronzeware,
顺风耳了啊！比刚才那个
as we called
啊，对，
the
它眼睛伸出来是
most
16厘米长，
treasured bronzewares.
还是130
It has a protruding eyes with an extending length of 16 centimeters. The total weight of this
在当时肯定也是，
bronze mask is around 80 kilograms.
但是它可能在
It was being carved
还是
through the models.
铸接，
再浇铸进
对，
行。
浇铸。您看它的额头中间仍然有一个孔，但是咱们仔细看，
You could see that in the middle of this bronze mask, there is a small hole.
可以看到它上面有明显的
Actually, if you look into this middle of this bronze hole, you could see some of the really different cotton traces.
是为了安装它额头中间
So how did this bronze
我们当时
mask has been made? It is being made by adding and
使用的时候
connecting different
对
parts.
它进行了切割，但是它切割的时候，这个
When
手
the
的话也
bronze
是
mask was formulated at the first time, they are actually
比较大的。
modeled the different parts and pieces
在
together.
这么厚的青铜上来再
This is a very huge bronze mask with a very
什么工具什么方法
heavy and thick
确实
mask.
太有智慧了。
对
So
而且
what
其实
kind
我
of
们现在啊
tools
跟
did the
这个
ancient
大
Shu
的
people
从
use to
去
cut the
从
bronze
这个
mask?
位面我们会觉得它没有刚刚的那一件那么威严了。
I'm standing in front of this bronze
很开心一样在微笑的
mask
状
with the
态
protruding
而
eyes.
且鼻子
I
也
think
是
not
鹰钩鼻
as
子啊
scary
所以就是放
as
就是微
the
笑
bronze
着来
mask I
迎接我
used
们
to
所有的
see.
宾客
I think
对，然后我们
he's
很多人
smiling
说
toward
去
me,
对应一
toward
下
all
这
the
个
different
对
visitors.
带领
I
这
could
个
see that
当时的
it is an image of the king of Sanxing, and the king of Sanxing has led the ancient Shu people to migrate from from another part of the places to the Shu, the Sichuan province. In the ancient historic records, they used to describe the king of Sanxing with the protruding eyes. That's the reason why the ancient Shu people has made this special bronze mask to pay their tribute to the king of Sanxing with such a very extraordinary protruding eyes. In the ancient culture, we have seen nothing like this before, and it's also something quite unique that we could not find in other different countries. The unearthing of this ancient bronze mask has not only filled some of the blanks in the ancient Chinese culture, it is also a world wonder. I think at the peak of the bronze culture, it is being represented. It is also, I believe it's only a part of the bronze mask. And in Sanxingdui relics and Sanxingdui rooms, there are so many different, and we are entered into another exhibition hall. Once I entered, I don't want to speak quite loudly. I think the style here is very severe and it's quite unique. We could see that when the light was shaded on the different heads, on our right side and on our left hand, there are so many different pieces of the bronze head who, with all of them staring at us. I believe all of these different bronze masks. This is a very unique piece. Can you see the uniqueness of this bronze mask? I believe the line of the bronze mask drawn is becoming smoother. It is a real representation of the human eyes. It is also boosted the features with a female figure. Its facial complexion is not their secret anymore. And if it's really a real replication of the ancient Shu people, I believe the ancient Shu people must have a quite small face. There are also some of the golden masks. We have unearthed 6 different pieces of the golden mask. Some of it is not very intact. We have restored a quite unique ones. I believe the golden mask starting from the people's forehead. Some people might imagine the golden mask is being made by different models, but actually the golden mask is made by a technology to piece all the different gold together. After thousands of years, it is very well preserved. It has weathered through the floods, and it has also weathered through the different climate conditions in the Sichuan province. We can imagine the ancient people at the time is really blessed with this golden mask. Another important feature for these human faces is that if we look this golden mask from the backside, can our photographer take? So we believe many of these golden figures and bronze figures has a hairstyle like this. If we divided all these bronze figures into 2 groups, for one group they have put their hairs on top of their head. For another part of the bronze figures, they have tiled their hairs in a pigtail style. So we have divided these bronze relics. This is real replications of the ritual ceremonies in the ancient Shu Kingdom. Sanxingdui ruins is closely related to the ritual ceremonies. We have done a small replications, while all the different relics is followed the real size. Why do we do this for the ritual ceremony? Because ritual ceremony is quite important. According to Sichuan, one of the 4 classics in China, it recorded that ritual ceremony is one of the important ceremonies for the country. We could see that on the second line, it is the ministers paying respect to the ritual ceremony. At that time, the ritual ceremony is a participation for all people in the country. We are going to head towards the second floor. This is a replica that we made for the secret tree. One detail that I want to share with our dear viewers is that before I entered into the Sanxingdui Museum, we believe that bronze is one definition that was being interpreted by the people. So when the bronze was first carved, it was similar to the gold color, yellow and shining, but after the oxygenation process, it has gradually turned into this bronze, this green color. All the different bronze masks we are seeing in this museum has a very golden color at its heyday. So here we have a replication of the secret tree. It is being replicated in the gold color, in the golden color. We could imagine the glittering sight at that time. This is a replica of the secret tree, 3 times to the original pieces. It is close to 14 meters. We have restored the lost pieces. Are there still 9 birds on the tree? Yes, because according to the Shanghai Jing, one of the important relics, there are 10 sounds being held by 10 birds. So because the sun is always hanging in the sky, so there is always 9 birds and 9 sounds waiting for to take their turns. This is the kitchenwares. It is called the bronze wares, and in the Sanxingdui ruins we have unearthed a lot of bronze wares like this one, and the zun, it is used to restore some of the archaeologists. This is a very unique feature which is quite familiar with the Chinese people. So I believe that on top of the zun we could see a lot of shapes representing the abundance. In the middle of the zun, we could see a very huge house, and at the bottom of the zun, these are some of the patterns quite common in the Shang Dynasty. The bronze replications of the zun has its unique features. It's a very important and inseparable part for the ancient Chinese culture. But for the Sanxingdui ruins, they have their unique culture. This is a variant of the Sanxingdui ruins. It is being composed with 2 parts. The upper part is a human body wearing a skirt, while his or her foot has gradually become the nails of the bird, and he's using his legs to catch up a bird, and the bird has gradually changed its pattern to a snake. This is a very unique cultural relic, demonstrating the changes from the human body to the bird's body and even to the snake. All of it is being combined in this special bronze ware. We are here to invite all the viewers to have a guess at what does this bronze ware used for? How does it being displayed? And we have made a special displaying platform to keep it fixed. Sometimes it can be standing so easy being connected with other different wares. We have, because I believe this ware is a very unique bronze ware. we have find nothing similar to it.
可以给我们带来更多关于它的
We are also looking forward to the second phase of the excavation.
或者是类似的。
有可能当时古人丢弃的时候，
Maybe in the following up excavation project, we could find the upper part of this special weir, and we are also going to unveil the mystery behind this special weir.
人像它出土的时候是五彩斑斓的，有红色、绿色的纹饰。
So when this special weir was unearthed, it is being covered with red, with black, different inks.
除了朱砂，包括我们的那些青铜面具。 青铜面具当时我们发现的时候，它的眉毛是黑色的。
I believe even for the bronze mask, it has also covered with black paint.
看来那个时候就流行这种港式风格，要
While there are some reddish
大红唇
on the lips of the bronze masks.
对，所以这个古人很懂得把自己的这些宝贝进行一些装扮啊。
The ancient
审美真太
Shu group, the ancient Shu people really understand how to decorate their relics.
那么接下来我们
I think it's a very unique weir.
非常贴近我们生活。
So I'm going to
这个太
give you a
亲切了
tour
每
of
天大家都
something
会接触
quite
到
similar,
就是
that
非
quite
常
astonishing to our everyday life.
对
Look at
有的
this.
时候是这个这个车的轮。
It is very similar to the
但是我们现在给它
driving
命名
wheels.
青铜太阳轮，所以它的造型大家看，实际上跟我们中国
We call it the bronze sun circles.
一个象征太阳的标志。
It is very similar to the suns in the ancient time.
有这么高的梳理水平。你看它的
4,000 to
非常的规整
3,000 years ago,
非常的
how does the ancient Shu people came up with such highly precise ethnic
还有体现更高超的
algorithms?
就是这个。
对，底下
It is
那
being
些
equally
眼睛一样有
distributed.
4等分，但是作为一个圆，然后把它5等分，这个是确确实实需要很高超的这个技术的。
这对于我们这种数学不太好的就
To divide a round-shaped bronze ware into 5 equal parts needs a very accurate algorithm and needs a very detailed calculation.
去推测，其实我们刚刚一路看到
I
的
believe
是
this
所谓
bronze
的眼
ware
睛它也是
serves as an important mark
就是所谓的
hanging in some
去崇拜
heights.
太阳的一种衍生，因为我们想要通过眼睛看到光亮，看到
It
光明
is
看到太阳
representing the ancient Shu people's worship to the sun.
很多眼睛
If they are seeing this bronze ware, it is similar to their worship to the sun.
所以它太阳崇拜实际上
We
是
believe
最早
the
期
ancient
的
Shu
现
people
象
compared their eyes with the sun, and the sun is one of the mystery for the ancient people. And in the Western legendary tales, there's saying that all the different legendary comes from the interpretations of the sun.
我们发现了6件，
How many different?
直径85厘米，特别
We have unearthed 6 different pieces of these sun-shaped rings.
来表现这个对太阳的崇拜。
This is also the first time we are seeing some of the bronze wares
对
came up with a
是青铜器会用来制造一些
indication for the worshipping of the suns. And I believe in the central part of China and in the eastern part of China, the bronze wares is coming up with the worship or the drinkings of the alcohols. But these are some of the unique features for the Sanxingdui relics. All of it has a symbol or has external features of the bird.
然后我们的神树上有鸟，
对，而且
There are so many different bird patterns
它看起来
in our golden trenches,
关的鸟
in our sacred
它好像头戴
trees.
高帽，而像是一个鸟皇
And I believe this is a very special bird. The bird even has its hat. I believe this is a hat indicating the bird is not a common bird. The bird might be some of the government officials in the bird world.
的造型的。
对，因为鱼鹰它的这个嘴
This is a very unique features for
所以
the
我们认为
渔夫
Sanxingdui 这个时
and
期，它可能最接近于就是
during the Sanxingdui time.
哇，那我们可以看到这儿还有一个鸟头，
It is.
可是它真的太大了。
We believe the Sanxingdui ruins is quite close to the ruins of the Yufu kings. This is a very special, unique cultural relics.
那么它身
You can imagine that with a head like this, how big the bird will
下
be.
面的孔就表明它
The
一定是
head of this bird has a length of 40 centimeters.
柱子啊，
It also has a lot of holes.
当时古
We can also imagine that at that time, people's worship to the bronze bird has goes to some extremities. Apart from the worship to the birds, the ancient Shu people also worship other different patterns of the nature. This is very unique. It's also quite similar to the bronze figure. It's indicating that the bronze figure, this small bronze figure, is also holding something. A trench, maybe? It's probably that this bronze figure is holding one thing, and I believe the bronze figure is wearing a very extravagant hat. This special hat might be related to the identity of this bronze figure. But unfortunately, we cannot see the whole bodies of these people. Otherwise, we can compare their clothes patterns. And we are looking forward that in the next phase of the excavations, we could understand more information of this bronze figure. There are so many mysteries in the Sanxingdui ruins that if we discovered some of the new bronze figures, that is also accompanied with hundreds of the questions. There are so many different animal patterns in the Sanxingdui ruins. It is indicating a multiple god worshipping systems. The ancient Shu people has worshipped their snakes. This is a bronze snakeware, which is being carved with a very aggressive manner. The snake is ready to attack people. There are so many different diamond-shaped patterns being carved on this snake. We believe that this snake used to be hanging somewhere to representing the local Shu people's worship to the god. I believe that through this journey to tour around the exhibition hall, we could see the local ancient Shu people do worship the elephant, they do worship the sacred animals, and they do worship the dragons, the snake, the bird. This is also a very unique cultural relics. It is a sheep, or is it a dragon? I think it's a dragon. The dragon actually witnessed some of its fate. That's the reason why it has opened up its mouth. So this is a dragon. That is the head part of the trench. If we go back to the back side of this trench, we could see and discover more details. There's the body can be seen here. There are two different. We could see its tails. It is being closely attached to this trenching. It is a hollow bronzeware. It indicates that it is the head part of the trenching. It is being staked to some of the other layers to keep it fixed. We have seen several different bronze masks. There are other different protruding figures indicating the bodies. These are very unique bronze wares, and we could find no traces of its interpretation.
流着口水是吧？
对，因为这个龙的造型确实很独特，因为在中国早期龙的形象是千姿百态。
This is a very unique symbols of the dragons, because for the ancient Chinese people, they have different depictions of the dragons, but this is actually the ancient Shu people's depiction of the dragon. Dragon with the head of a sheep. It is only one sheep. It is only one dragon, and the ancient Shu's culture. In the early stage of Chinese civilization, the Sanxingdui civilization actually stands out with its uniqueness. I think through this journey, we could find the cultural relics unearthed in the Sanxingdui ruins is demonstrating us a very colorful world where the ancient Shu people have enjoyed their day-to-day lives. We are really looking forward to the final days of the excavation phase, because there was no word or no historic record to tell us any information about the ancient Shu kingdoms. We are looking forward to such a grand journey. Thank you very much, Professor Zhou, to help us to tour around the Sanxingdui Museum. We are really looking forward to join hands with you to this journey of unearthing more cultural relics of Sanxingdui ruins.